Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show again. Today, we're going to be talking about a few things. Not so much talk about Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United. So everybody knows Manchester United need a striker, and they are looking at Benjamin Sesko. I think from the strikers available right now in the market, I think Benjamin Sesko is the best option because everybody know Alexander Isak is right now is untouchable. He belongs to Liverpool, so nobody's even thinking about bidding for Alexander Isak. He will settle it. I think Liverpool is going to bid in a few hours for Alexander Isak, their first bid or maybe second bid because the first one was rejected. Yeah, but since Isak said he wants to leave Newcastle, this is their first bid since that time. So I guess it's going to go higher than 120 million pounds, probably 130 million pounds. Let's see what Newcastle will say, and they will negotiate about that. So I think the next big striker in the market right now is Benjamin Sesko. Now, who's going to have him? Is it Manchester United? Because Manchester United is really interested in the player. Because if you don't go for Benjamin Sesko, I think all we have left is Oli Watkins and Nicholas Jackson. I think Oli Watkins should remain where he is at Aston Villa. I don't know why he should come to Manchester United. But if he comes to Manchester United, it's good for him, but it's not good for Manchester United because he's about 30 years old. He's not the future of Manchester United. Manchester United needs a striker that has a long run. So I think Benjamin Sesko is better. But why would Benjamin Sesko want to come to Manchester United is the question we should ask. Why would he want to do that? Newcastle and the Champions League. I mean, if Benjamin Sesko chooses Manchester United because of the big name over Newcastle, it will be very, very weird. It's almost like lack of ambition from Benjamin Sesko. Does he not want to play in the Champions League? Or was the salary just too good that I couldn't say no to? We don't know. But it would be a shame for Newcastle if Benjamin Sesko goes to Manchester United. Why? Because um, Newcastle has lost so many players. We just lost James Trafford from Burnley to Manchester City instead of him to come to Newcastle. They've lost Mbuemo, João Pedro to Chelsea, Mbuemo to Manchester United. They have lost Maguire. So many people have turned them down. So Newcastle cannot afford to lose another player in this transfer window. They couldn't even keep their own players. Talk more of bringing incomings. I don't know what more Newcastle can do because I think they have the money, but players don't want them. What more can they do? I asked that in the previous video, but it's still confusing, man. I don't know whether we should blame the people who are running Newcastle and maybe Tottenham, but I can understand Tottenham not signing players. But Newcastle did well in the Premier League, won the Carabao Cup, and qualified for the Champions League. So they ought to get the players that they want. But I don't know why they're losing out players to Manchester United. So if this guy, what's his name? If he refused to Benjamin Sesko, if he refused to come to Newcastle and he goes to Manchester United, then it will be very, very weird. I think we have to question the people who are negotiating for Newcastle because they are very, very poor in this transfer window. I mean, they did everything they ought to do, but they can't keep their player. They can't bring in player even after winning their first trophy in a long time, the Carabao Cup, qualifying for the Champions League, and being among the top 5 in the Premier League. So they had a good run last season, but nobody wants to come to Newcastle. Now they have to settle for Aaron Ramsdale instead of James Trafford that they wanted, the former Arsenal goalkeeper that is currently relegated in Southampton. So they want to bring him back to the Premier League. Aaron Ramsdale wants to move, and they are negotiating with Southampton. I think Newcastle wants to loan him with the option to buy. So let's just see how it goes. Yeah. So Newcastle have to settle for plan B, plan C, plan D, almost like Manchester United striker situation. But if Benjamin Sesko goes to Manchester United, I think Manchester United is fixed. The only problem is their goalkeeping. Midfield is going to be scattered. They have to sort themselves out. But having Cunha, Mbuemo, and Benjamin Sesko, wow. Imagine Dubu Martinez comes to Manchester United too. I think Manchester United will be in a good form for at least top 8. I would have said maybe top 7 or top 6, but because of how bad they were last season, I think Manchester United will be lucky if they get top 9 in the Premier League by the end of the season, 2025-2026 season. So what's up in the news again? Okay, Granit Xhaka will complete his medical tomorrow at Sunderland. He'll be a new Sunderland player. Now, I wish Sunderland well because they have spent over 100 million in this transfer window. So much money. Signed Simon Adingra, the Ivory Coast guy that plays for Brighton, and now they're bringing Granit Xhaka. So I hope they stay in the Premier League, and I think it's a good time to be in the Premier League. Why? Because Bournemouth and Brentford have lost their strength. They sold so many players. I mean, I can talk about them, but I think I've already done that in the previous video. So the clubs like Leeds and Sunderland, I don't really rate Burnley, but hopefully maybe they will stay. But I would like two clubs or at least one to remain in the Premier League and not get relegated. The people who came from the Championship, I would like one at least or two to survive. If two, preferably Leeds and Sunderland. If one, I'd like to see Sunderland stay in the Premier League at the end of the season, not get relegated, because the trend is just becoming too disgusting. I mean, the gap between the Premier League and the Championship, yeah, is too far, and they can't even find a balance. There was again Liverpool. Liverpool I think they will sell Federico Chiesa, probably going back to Syria A. That Nunes go to Saudi, because I don't see anybody that will pay £70 million for him. Luis Diaz completing medical, so they can bring in Isak. Then what's next again in the news? We have William Saliba was asked a question. He was asked when he'll be signing his new contract with Arsenal. I said soon. God is great. So that's good news to know that Real Madrid couldn't take him from us. It's good news to know that William Saliba wants to stay at Arsenal. That's very, very good news. So I hope he signs the document soon and we keep our best defender. Then Gabriel Jesus, there are no talks between him and Flamengo, according to Fabrizio, but it was looking like maybe there were rumors that he might be going to Flamengo. I don't know what's going to happen to him because he's our current number 9. He's the one that has that number 9 jersey number. But Mikel Arteta obviously prefers Kai Havertz to him. So when they want to substitute Victor Gyökeres, it's going to be Kai Havertz coming in and not Gabriel Jesus. I don't know what's going to happen to him because I think he's still injured, because I have not seen him perform. He has not come out in any of these friendlies, preseason games. So let's see how it goes, guys. Have a beautiful evening. God bless you. Bye for now. See you again tomorrow. Bye.